everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones. Welcome into On the Hunt tonight, where we are going on the hunt with some of my good buddies. We have Barton and Latisha Nunnelly here in the studio tonight, along with my other friend, Miss Anna Jones. And I can't wait to get this show on the road tonight. We're going to be talking about Inhumanoids tonight, the land between the lakes and Kentucky cryptids, of course, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So, this is historical. I don't think that I've had the Nunnellys on my channel yet. Oh, Anna. And we're going to welcome them to the show. I just have a new moderator in here too. What's that work criminal? You're a moderator tonight, and for from here on out, I appreciate you. And Matt is also a good friend of ours who was out camping with us at the LBL a couple weeks ago. And yeah, you guys get ready, buckle up, buttercups. And also, we had the West Georgia Bigfoot Town Hall today. We had a fantastic turnout, and I want to thank everybody who showed up for that. Thank you guys so much for all your support. We had people that drove wow. I mean, I'm talking about the first country to get there today. I actually, thanks to Angie Williamson, my friend, one of my teammates out of Seekers, she donated a couple of wonderful Bigfoot hats today to give away, and we gave them away to the two people who drove the farthest to get to our event today. We had rain all day, and I was worried that nobody was going to show up. But my goodness, let me pull my dust up tonight. I'll show you guys a few pictures from today. We had It was a community affair, and by the way, they put a full color picture ad in the paper. My good friends at the Dallas New Era in Paulding County, Dallas, Georgia. Thank y'all so much for doing that for our event today. I will put that on my social media. I don't think I pulled it up to show you guys tonight. I forgot. Oh no, there it is. Here it is. Somebody sent me this today. So they were like, yes, I told this to my nephew. They said, well, isn't that your aunt, Jessica? The Bigfoot lady in the paper. And so thank you to the Dallas New area. You got Jolie. Thank you so much for doing that. That means the world to me. And gosh, we had a wonderful turnout. Like I said, this was actually at the end of the event. We didn't stay as long as we were planning to because it was, the rain was coming at the end of the day. And we got done a little bit early. So this crowd right here, Liz and Ginger and the two fellas back there showed up when we were all packing up. And I ended up seeing and talking to them. They are straight out of the community. They do a lot of their research in that area where we were today. And I had the best time hanging out with them and talking with them. Thank you guys so much for being there and sharing your encounters with me. And I can't wait to get out in the woods with y'all. Also, my good friend, Miss Mary Ann, that is Bob Grumpy Wilson's wife right there. Miss Mary Ann showed up today, and we were there just in memory of Bob Grumpy Wilson. And you guys, go tell you something. We didn't have the food truck that showed up, so I improvised. That's what I brought for the community out there. Viennas, of course. Saltines, viennas, Mustard hot sauce. Yes, I did provide some sustenance for everybody there. I know y'all don't throw tomatoes at me. It was Bigfooters. We love those things. Okay. And so we had some of those today. I want to thank Richard Cox for being there. I want to thank Angel for showing up, Todd and Bryce as well. And my son, my nephew for selling drinks for us today and handing out some viennas. We had wonderful vendors. We also had Jerry and that's Angie, uh, Rick right there, and the NCI guys showed up and showed out as usual. We had Scott and Sheila Granger there as well, and that's Tim Dills, y'all, of course, with NCI who came to speak. Scott, Sheila, just trying to throw some pictures in there. Sea Duke, y'all. Everybody wants to know what Sea Duke looks like. You guys thought Sea Duke was a man. Sea Duke was one of my moderators. She showed up and showed out today as well. Thank you to Sea Duke for being there, and Bryce and let's see, Kelly. There's Kelly right there, and some other friends. Greg Ogle showed up as well. I've only got a picture of his backside, y'all. But I promise you that's Greg Ogles right there. So there are a lot more people there, y'all. Those are just the pictures I had time to upload. I'll send more later. Y'all see them on my social media. But thank you guys. Everybody who shut up. I love y'all. I love y'all. And yeah, we do have a lot of Bigfoots and dogmen. over in this part of the state. Okay. All right. Well, let's get to our show now, y'all. If you want to check out all my shows and the archive of my shows, please go over to my website, thecryptidhuntress.com. You can find all of my shows, my social media links, and everything. Of course, I have a Patreon if you guys want to support my work, and I have a shop. It's called War Woman Goods. Okay, and also I do have a little bit of an audio issue tonight, so if my microphone gets bad, y'all please let me know. It may be bad right now. I don't know. Okay. Um, Thank you, Gary. And yeah, I'm seeing there's some kind of shooting or something at a White House dinner. I'm sorry. I'm seeing all your comments in the chat. We'll address that in a little bit if we need to. All right. So let's get our show, y'all. Okay, so on this episode tonight, we're going on the hunt with Barton and Latisha Nunnelly. We're going to discuss their inhumanoid creature encounters at the land between the lakes and all over Kentucky. And LBL researcher Anna Jones is going to just join us as well to discuss cryptid encounters and experiences at the land between the lakes. And we're even probably going to be talking about what happened to us when we were together at the land between the lakes just about I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was pretty recent. Okay, so cryptid researcher and investigator Barton Nunnelly is a self-taught writer and artist. He was born and raised in Henderson, Kentucky, where he has spent decades searching the bottomlands of the Bluegrass State for evidence of its diverse natural mysteries. His wanderings have brought him to face with such creatures as Bigfoot, water monsters, black panthers, out-of-place wolves, and other mysterious cryptids, including a Thunderbird in 1998. He's the author of Mysterious Kentucky, Volume 2, The Dark and Bloody Ground, Bigfoot in Kentucky, and The Inhumanoids, Real Encounters with Beings That Can't Exist. He's also appeared in documentary films on several cable television networks, and he spends his time writing books and feature films, walking in the ancient creek beds around Henderson with Latisha as well. And of course, we have Anne here as well. And strange and frightening events have followed Anna out throughout her life. And in 2022, she spent 2 terrifying nights in the camp at LBL. And since she's been returning to that place to try to figure out the mysteries of that place, including with me and our crew a couple of weeks ago. And you can find her over on her YouTube channel. It's Kryptic Kentucky. You can find Barton and Latisha over on their YouTube channel. It's called Humanoids with Barton Nunnelly. It's all in the description box. It's all on the ticker down here. So please help me welcome to the show tonight. Let's pull up Anna. So Anna.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Let's pull up Barton and Latisha as well.
Hi,
Hello.
everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Thank
Hello
you
there,
so much
Wolf
for being
Sister.
here.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see y'all tonight.
It's good to see y'all. It is. And thank y'all for joining me on my channel tonight. I really did enjoy hanging out with y'all at the LBL. I had one of the most intense encounters at the LBL that I've had in a long time. Is that typical?
Yes.
It's very typical.
Yeah, it gets a lot stranger than what happened to you in war. A lot of things happen there, you know. People don't really believe what all the stuff that I've written and said about that place in the last 20 years, but it's all true, every bit of it.
Well, I can attest there's something weird going on out there. And y'all, all three of y'all have a long history. You're natives of Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken.
Born and raised.
Yep.
Well, Barton and Latisha, Barton, I know you have been you've written a lot of books. You've done a lot of research. You've done a lot of you're a long time boots on the ground field researcher. And I got a lot of respect for you. You know what you're doing out there.
Well, thank you so much, sister. I appreciate that. I respect you too. Respect everyone that I'm seeing here tonight and everyone in your chat. Thank you all for being here, guys. Please be sure to hit that like button for Sister Jessica.
Thank you. Well, you know, we crossed paths a few years ago, several years ago. And, and you came on my show. We were over on Spaced Out Radio a long time ago. And I really enjoyed that interview very much. And I had talked about an encounter you had a long time ago when you were a kid, I think with your brother. And your encounters with inhumanoids goes back to your childhood, right?
Right. Well, it goes back to when I was 9 years old, and we lived in a little isolated farmhouse on the Green River in Spotsville, Kentucky, and we had basically an 11-month ordeal with the siege of Bigfoot that eventually got us to move out of our house. And we loved that house, it was perfect. But yeah, it was pretty frightening. And that's just hard to believe it's been 50 years ago, but it has. I'm 59. So I've had 50 years of experiences, and I've experienced just about everything that you can possibly experience. And it's not because I'm anything or anyone special. I don't believe I'm gifted or touched or anything like that. Just I happen to live in the most active area for the unexplained phenomena in the world, and I believe that's right here in Henderson, Kentucky, right between the Green River and the Ohio River. So nothing special about me, just
Plus you live.
just where I was born and raised in, and between those rivers, these things seem to follow the rivers and the Indian burial mounds, and I've lived on burial mounds and between those rivers almost all my life.
Well, we had a mutual friend, Mark Maychek, Cryptiville.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot from Mark over the years. And he was also very, very much familiar with the land between the lakes. And
Yes, he
I know
was.
you and him were good friends. And
We were brothers,
and-
yes. He was a wolf brother. And I thought the world of Mark. He gave me this feather. If you guys can see this feather, that's who gave me that. And gone much too soon. He was a wealth of knowledge, and unfortunately, he was more of a background guy. He'd like to stay in the background. He didn't want to come forward a lot, and he took a lot of knowledge with him when he went, and it's just a terrible, terrible thing to lose a wolf brother. It's the second one that I've lost. And it's just terrible.
well, I was lucky enough to, I guess I kind of tricked him into coming on my shows.
Right? I had to ask him for like a year or two before he agreed to come on mine. So
I say that I'm joking, tricking him, but he was very reluctant to talk publicly about anything.
he was, yes. He did not.
Well, you and I, we all four of us, we understand why.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of controversy and a lot of judgment that comes to people who speak out on cryptids and the things that we do, and so I feel like he felt like some of that knowledge needed to be protected, I think, and
Right.
and I understand.
Well, it's the thing, it's like me. I've always, every location that anything's ever happened to me, I always put out there in public so people could go and have experiences themselves and therefore validate what I've written or said. But here lately, I'm letting people know locations, and the next thing you know, they're being overrun by basically idiots, and so I'm moving on from that. I'm going to keep things a little tighter to my vest now. Quit giving out all my locations, and because it's I try to be completely transparent, but a lot of people take advantage of that, especially YouTubers. So
Hey, we've all been there, and I've done it myself, Barton. Don't feel bad. I've done it too.
right.
Yeah, it happens. When you have certain knowledge and you've got a lot of experience under your belt with this stuff, not everybody's in it just to be famous, and we're in it because we want to learn what's out there, and we want to. I'm not saying we want to solve the mysteries, but we just want to know for ourselves.
Right.
Right.
So
I'm not in it for clicks, subscribers, money, views. I'm in it strictly for the opportunity to tell people the truth, to find the truth and show it to people. And that's all I'm interested in. That's it. I'm not a popularist. I'm not, you don't see me on cable TV every night, which I could be, but I turn down all that stuff, and you don't see me speaking at conferences and all that stuff. So I just want to tell people the truth, and I do that through my YouTube channel and my books.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. To the audience, Barton and Latisha they have a great YouTube channel, and so does Anna too. Anna Cryptic Kentucky. That's a good YouTube channel. I like it. I like your name.
It is.
Thank
It is.
you.
But I'm, not only do you have a great YouTube channel, y'all gotta check out Barton's TikTok, y'all. We're gonna look at his TikTok here in a little bit, okay? But you do document stuff. You're not gatekeeping. You're not keeping the truth, the things that you experience out of the public eye. You show the evidence y'all have.
Right. So I didn't get to do much last year. 2025 was basically a whole year stolen from all the Brotherhood members. But in 2024, and I've been going down to the LBL for 20 years. I came out with the very first Dogman documentary ever produced. That was me. But in 2024, everything lifted. It's like the veil was being lifted, and we started getting world-class evidence, just crazy things that I was able to get on my cell phone. We didn't have a lot of equipment. We had like a flashlight and a cell phone, right, honey?
Yeah.
That's about it.
We had like a 99-cent flashlight.
Literally.
Literally.
Dollar store flashlight. Yeah. And so it just proves that you don't have to have $1 million worth of equipment, just a little bit and a little bit of effort. We're out there. When we say we're out there, we're actually out there. We're not pretending to be or to be anyone that we're not, or do anything that we're not actually doing. So when you see us out in the woods, we're not out there for photo opportunities and stuff like that. We're actually out there trying to find the truth and share it with everyone.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been out in the woods with y'all a couple of times now, and it's like I said, it was one of the most intense encounters I've had in a long time out there, and yeah, no panic involved too much, right? Y'all were sleeping back, we're getting kind of ambushed, and but yeah, it's and Anna, I was out there with you too. We got to spend some time out in the woods together.
Yes, it was great.
Had a good time.
It was. I was gonna ask Anna. Anna, you had a very intense encounter yourself back in 2022. Tell me about what happened out of the LBL.
In 2022, I went down for a camping trip, and I was actually there to go to the Dogman conference to see Bart. I've known him for a long time, probably about 20 years now, and it was close to home. It was the first time I had camped in the LBL. Went down to Boswell Landing. Never been there before. It's a pretty primitive camping area. You got your gravel pad, picnic table, and your fire ring. There's not even any lights out there, so you better bring your own lights. So we got our spot, and it just had an odd feeling as soon as we came in there. The sun was setting, so we were a little late getting our tent stuff set up. Immediately saw a red orb over in the cemetery, because there is the Campbell Cemetery right there in Boswell Landing. So it was starting at sundown. We weren't expecting this at all. We were just coming down there to camp. Did not know the history of the area or anything. So after we got camp set up, one of the things we realized is that we forgot firewood, of all things. So I'm sitting on the picnic table, and the girl I was with went over to check out the cemetery. I'm facing the woods. Now, the spot that we were at, it was right beside the road that you come in, and you just walk right over to that cemetery. As I'm sitting on the picnic table, I'm kind of at an angle to where I can see the edge of the woods, but I can also see over in that cemetery. And I saw a dark figure come forward, but it was an outline. And you know how dark the LBL gets. And this outline was darker than the woods. And remember, we did not have a fire. We just had a couple of lights. I didn't even have a headlamp at the time because it was my first trip. So I'm sitting on this picnic table, watching my friend. This thing comes forward. I'm not sure what I'm seeing. It was the exact outline of your classic Bigfoot. It was facing me, I did not see any eyes, did not see any hair. I wasn't noticing any details of it other than a very dark outline. It was very tall. And for me, it was like those metal figures of the Bigfoots that people put in their yards, only that's usually a side profile. This was looking at me straight on, but it was more like a shadow figure, but in the shape of a Bigfoot. So I was second guessing myself because it really didn't move after it came forward. And my friend that was in the cemetery, she did have a headlamp, and she walks over the road coming back to our campsite, and this thing turned its head and took a step towards her. About the same time, her headlamp swept across, and there was nothing there. I don't know what that was. So when people ask me, have you had a Bigfoot encounter in LBL? I don't know what to say because I don't know what that was. One of my guesses is possibly it was just a shadow entity mimicking a Bigfoot, but I don't know. And things continued through the night. That weekend, there was a full moon. It was the August meteor showers, and it was a clear sky that night with the full moon. And while we're in our camp, after this happened, and we hear a howl across the bay, and it is canine. I know what coyotes sound like. There's not a coyote. And my friend looked at me. She said, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "Yeah, I heard that." And I knew the story of the Dogman because I was friends with Jan Thompson. And so when I heard that, we were pretty scared. She was staying in a tent. I was staying in the back of the Jeep, and we couldn't close the back of the Jeep fully, and my foot was kind of sticking out. So that was not fun the rest of the night after that happened to us. But I was seeing white orbs in the woods, and later in the night, she felt something brushed across her tent where her head was sitting.
Ew.
And the next day, it was during the daytime, I was seeing shadow figures in the woods in LBL during the day.
During
And
the
that was my
day?
first experience. Yes, it was during the day. And that was my first camping experience in LBL.
Oh my God. My first camping experience, I had that, the things that whatever was running down those hills behind us and that surrounded us. I know it happened to y'all the second night on
Yeah.
Saturday, but I could not say that was definitely a Bigfoot or a Dogman or anything because we couldn't see it.
Mhm.
It's invisible and it got darker than dark, just like what you described.
Yeah.
That's the way it is every time. It seems like it comes to you. You don't have to go out looking for it every time. Sometimes it comes to you. Just sitting around talking, having a good time, and it just comes to you. And usually it's more than one of them. Something brushed against our tent the night that you and War Criminal were,
Yeah.
I wouldn't
setting up.
say attacked, but whatever
No.
came after y'all, something brushed against our tent that night. And I was so tired. I was just like,
Right. Me too.
Good.
Now, I've been up for almost 24 hours, I had
we
to
knew
get up.
y'all had our backs.
Right. We're never scared when we go down there. And a lot of people won't even consider tent camping in the LBL. They'll either stay at the one of the local hotels or the cabins in there in the campgrounds. But we love tent camping ourselves, and we're never scared. We have faith that the good Lord will take care of us, and He always does. So you'll find us down there in the middle of nowhere, usually in a tent somewhere around the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get done, we'll come back and we'll sit in our lawn chairs.
Sit in our lawn chairs around
the
campfire.
Lawn chair mafia. So yeah. And you don't have to do anything to. That's what a lot of people don't understand. You don't really have to go a lot of places looking for these things in the LBL. All you have to do is be there, and something's liable to happen. And that's what happened that night. I wanted to get some rest, so that Saturday we could really get some exploring done and everything. And you see what happened, right?
Mm-hmm. I do. And I feel like Matt and I were actually just laughing we were having a good time and giggling about one of my shows that I had done, and that's when they struck.
Right.
We were laughing. It was a sneak attack. That's what I think.
And
Yeah.
the reason you did not see them, sister, and same with you, Sister Anna, is because they were cloaked.
Yep.
Very simple. They have the ability to become completely invisible to the human eye. A lot of people don't believe that, but it's happened to me several times, and once in broad daylight. So I know for a fact, it is actually a fact that these things can become invisible to the human eye. I don't know how they do it, but they can do it.
Well, just like the night that we was all at the campsite sitting around the fire, except for you and War Criminal were out videotaping, and we caught that tree peeker, and
Yeah.
nobody's seen it with their naked eye. We didn't have any idea that we had even got that evidence until
2 weeks
it
later.
was 2 or 3 weeks later. We was with Jitesh Patel and his friend Juan, and
Yeah.
we were all out eating, and we was just going through some footage that we had taken that night, and there it was, and it was just it was amazing. It blew us all away that we had caught something, and it was so close to everybody, and nobody saw it.
Yeah.
That was
So-
really.
That was an
It was kind of
incredible night.
alarming when
Yeah.
I first saw that footage. It was, I'm a little bit slow on getting the footage reviewed and editing. I'm nothing like you, sister, but
Jessica is a
She is.
go-getter. I don't know where you find the time, but
right,
girl,
the
you
energy. But yeah,
Let's
you
do it.
really,
I just love it. That's where I love it. And it's not a work or a job to me. It's just fun.
yeah.
So
That's it.
that's why. Can we show that video? That's one of the
sure.
videos you
Let me
sent?
set it up just for a second. We were all sitting in our lawn chairs around the campfire.
Well, you
With-
learned.
Well, here's how it happened. And we heard something. Letitia heard something that we thought sounded like a big cat. And so me and Matt get up immediately and we go into the woods. And we're walking through the woods, and I take my phone out and I start filming. We come up on this deer kill. And the deer was missing its head and all 4 legs. So I was filming that, and when I stood up and turned around, I just let the camera sweep around. And we didn't see anything. We never did find the skull or the legs. But when we reviewed the tape 2 weeks later, there was something standing about 20 feet away, and it had glowing eyes like flashlights. And we don't understand why or how none of us saw this thing. It was in between War and I and the camp with the girls. So, yeah, go ahead and show that, sister.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. We're going to go to your TikTok for this one.
Okay.
Okay. Let's play the oops. Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Hold on. There we go. Do we need the volume for this? Should we play it? Let's see.
Not really. I mean, you don't. It's just me and Matt talking.
Hold on, y'all. My computer does this sometimes.
Gone a little bit too far,
Hold on.
sister.
Wrong way.
There it is, right there.
Touch anything. Okay.
No hair, no legs. Look at the bottom. That's it. Break that bone right there with his teeth. Been chewing on them ribs too, Barton. Yeah. Those are Brody's shoes right there. Yeah.
Wow. Dang. goodness.
Yeah, you can see the one capture, its mouth is open, the other one is closed. So it's an animate creature, whatever it is. And so of course I have a wildlife biologist friend that lives down in Tennessee, and all this evidence that I get, I send to him because he's been going and studying the park system for 40 years and knows every plant and animal in those parks by species and genus names. And if he says, hey, Bart, this is something that I've never seen before, it's completely unknown, then I know for sure that I've got something that no one else has gotten. But that tree peeper there, it still makes us a bit nervous to watch that, to see how close it was to us. And we didn't feel it,
really close.
War is kind of I don't know, he's empathic,
Mm-hmm.
And he can feel things, but he didn't feel that. We didn't see it. We didn't hear it. And it moved. If you slow down the video, it moved almost instantly from place to place. It didn't walk. It just kind of glided.
There was a few
really
people that
strange.
thought it was two creatures, but we still haven't decided
Yeah,
if
I've
it
still
just
gotta
moved
go
that
over.
fast or if it was actually two creatures down there.
Right. People are always sending me messages saying, hey, man, you got this and that in your video at timestamp, la, 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 la. And I've got like hundreds of those, but there's no telling what's in my videos on that channel. I hardly ever go back and review them. And it's, by the time I edit and post it, I'm just ready to walk away from those videos. So, but yeah, there's definitely more there than what you just saw.
It looks like it's almost impossible to not have seen that with your eyes.
Yeah.
But see, I
Yeah.
understand because it happens to us too. You don't see it until you go back and see it on the video. You just can't see it with your naked eye.
Right. And here's the thing about LBL, Wolf Sister. When you go in there, it's like you're automatically under some kind of spell, right? We've had things happen to us where everyone that was present acted completely out of character. I've been doing this for 40 years, and if I see something unusual, I usually stay there and get as much as I can. But one time, it was War Criminal and me and Latisha and several others. I don't know. Were you with us? Truth Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if Sister Anna was with us that night, but
Not that night.
not that night. Well, we come up this old road, and there was no one else around anywhere. And we saw what looked like a campfire out in the middle of nowhere where a bunch of these trees had been torn down and laid down by a tornado a year or two earlier. And it just looked like a big campfire to our eyes. And Matt was in front, and he started pointing and brake checking us. And we looked over and thought, well, it's a campfire. And when we looked at it, the stranger it got, we got out of the vehicles and had a closer look, and it was about a quarter mile away or so. But there was no smoke to this fire, and it was out there in a place where no one should have been, right? So all the timber rattlers in the LBL would have been in that area because of all the dead trees. They sun themselves on the top of the down trees, and to cool down, they would get underneath in the shade. So if you was to go out in the middle and make a big bonfire like this thing looked like, it'd been crazy. But that was Latisha was filming with the psionics.
And Truth Walker had her night vision.
Right. And through the night vision, this was not a campfire at all or a bonfire. It was a perfectly round sphere, pulsating sphere. It was just out in the middle of nowhere. And it was just crazy. The spell that we're under, though, this is what happens almost every time we're in the LBL. We should have stayed there all night and filmed it. We filmed it for 5 minutes. We had plans to go visit this old church, and there was a path behind it that led into the woods, and we wanted to see where that path led. So instead of staying there like we should have and filmed it all night, we filmed for 5 minutes and left. And War and Martin handed the night vision to them, and they said they saw figures walking around underneath that light. So
it was like a blue dome.
Right.
It was
just
pulsating
against the trees. And so I don't know what to call it. I call it a portal because they saw these figures there, but it's just crazy how we walked away from that. And we would have never done that under any circumstances. and any other place with the LBL. We lost
Sorry,
your audio.
I was
There you
muted. I muted myself. So actually, my team, we've had that happen repeatedly out in the field. But not what happened to y'all, but in our case, we have a lot of activity that happens in our base camp, and then we all decide to go to bed
Right?
immediately.
Right.
And it doesn't make any sense. It makes all sense when it happens. We're like, oh, it's normal. It's time to go to bed, everybody.
Right.
And we all go to our tents and we all go turn in for the night while we're having massive activity in our base camp. So
That's not
it
normal.
is.
No,
It's
not,
weird.
completely not normal. And
Mhm.
you know, we didn't really think about it, but the next morning I was thinking about it, and I was telling Martin, I said, and Matt, I'm like, why did we drive away from that? And they're like, I don't know. That's the craziest thing ever. We should have stayed right there and filmed it. I'm like, yeah, no telling what we'd have filmed if we'd stayed there, but we had that plan in our mind, see, and somehow the plan was more important than what we were viewing. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't.
It never makes sense, y'all.
I want to give a quick shout out to all my wolf brothers and sisters in the chat room. Hello, guys and gals. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for being here. We have a wonderful chat room right now. We always have, I swear, I have the best chat on the internet. I like to brag. Okay. I've got the best moderators. We really have a wonderful chat room. And I wanted to want to take a quick commercial break too to thank some of my wonderful viewers that have given us super chats tonight. Moon at Noon, thank you so much for that super sticker. I appreciate your support so much. And Gary Spice, man, you didn't have to do that, Gary. You were so sweet, man.
We love Gary.
I
Appreciate it. We got to see Gary at the Land Between the Lakes a couple weeks ago. So thank you, Gary. And thank you for being here. And we've got Mr. Larry Joe Fisher. We got Larry. He says, so sorry I was late. Shared the link with friends just now. Thank you, Larry. I'll forgive you this time. I'm just kidding. I'll forgive you this once.
Brother.
Thank you, Larry.
Someone asked if the Brotherhood was a group or something you could join, or a channel or something on YouTube. It's not. It's a family, and you have to be invited to join the Brotherhood of the Wolf. You have to be a good person. You have to be invited down to the Land Between the Lakes to hunt the beast with me and Latisha, and you have to pledge that from that moment forward, all your words are true and all your ambitions are noble. And that's how you become a member of the Brotherhood of the Wolf. You can't pay dues and be a member or join a group or anything like that.
We don't want your money.
Yeah, we don't want your money.
We want your truth and your friendship.
We want
she
good
was
people.
doing thank yous. So we
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sister.
Oh, yeah. It's not for the faint of heart. And I know that Anna knows that. I know that. Y'all know that. It's, I was actually kind of surprised that there were children camped out down the road from where we were. And that was, I couldn't get that out of my mind when Matt and I were being bombarded by whatever was out there. I kept thinking about those children.
Right.
And I told Matt, I said, look, as long as the attention's on us, I'm okay with this. As much as it sucked, I'd rather be on us than those little girls over there.
Right.
So, people don't know. People don't know, sister, or if they've heard, they don't believe. So
what do y'all think about having kids out there and taking children to camp at the LBL?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but if you have faith and you're in the right place spiritually, I don't think anything would happen to you. I've never had anyone or anything happen to anyone that's been with me other than Martin Groves. 40 years of expeditions all over the state of Kentucky, and never had an injury or snake bite or a broken bone or anything. And we're sitting at the the campfire
in our lawn chairs.
In our lawn chairs, right? And Daryl Denton, he was the firekeeper that night, and he had a big log on the fire, and he somehow knocked that log off, and it hit Martin in the leg, and fractured his leg and broke 2 toes.
Oh
And
my
I said,
gosh.
I'll be damn, you just ruined my 40-year streak, Brother Daryl. No injuries while you're with me, but now Bubba's sitting here with a broke leg and 2 broke toes by the campfire.
Shout out to Martin Groves. You know, his
Yeah.
truck actually got pushed twice while Matt and I were dealing with whatever was out there. And speaking of Matt, thank you, War Criminal. It's Barton Nunnelly. Thank you.
Is Jody in the chat? Yeah, but I don't recommend anyone taking their kids to LBL, especially.
Thanks for the laugh.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank
for
you,
watching.
Matt. Appreciate that.
Especially in the
Thank you.
the dispersed camping, you know, and it's different when you're in a campground, in a cabin or a camper, and the kids are playing, you know. But when you're out there in the woods, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
We've had friends come down. A really, really good friend of mine, a sister of mine, she brought her son and daughter-in-law and their 2 kids down to Piney Campground, I believe, one time, and to not Wranglers, Hillman's Ferry. And we had a blast. The kids had a blast. They swam in the lakes and just had a good time.
Yeah.
But when it became dark, they were in the camper. They were not out roaming around. And yeah, I would say at night, it's not a place for children. Not at all.
Well, okay. Well, when we got there, Martin, you were interviewing, was it Mike Smith, I believe?
Yes.
And you do a lot of really fantastic interviews, and you know a lot of people. You've had a lot of your own all of y'all have had your own encounters down there. But he was talking about in that interview a reptilian humanoid out of that lake that his father saw, I believe, or his grandfather.
His dad, yeah. And Mike's been on he's done a couple of interviews already, but they've never asked him about that, and only about his experiences in with Dogman. But I had heard that, I talked to him on the phone, he mentioned that his dad had been seeing a reptilian down there, a lizard man. And that really piqued my interest, and that's what I want. That's the story that I wanted to get, something that no one else seemed interested in. That's what I want to get in, and I'm not done with that story yet. There's a lot more to it than that.
How common are reptilian sightings out there? Because I heard of Mark Maychak, Cryptidville, and I asked him about that because there was a video put out by, I want to say Cryptids Canada, I think is a YouTube channel, but it was a viewer story saying that a man had gone camping and had seen reptilians in a portal and piles of bodies of dogmen and Bigfoot. It just sounded way too weird to be real. But once I went to the LBL, now I know it could be real. Mark said that could have been a real story, is what Mark said.
It sounds rather fantastic, but
it does.
I'm not going to call anyone a liar unless I was there myself, and I don't know how you would have bodies of Bigfoot and Dogman laying around when they're supernatural creatures, in my opinion, that can't be killed. So it sounds rather fantastic, but I know that the lizard men are there, as well as many other things other than Dogman and Bigfoot. And my wife and sister Anna can tell you about one of the things that they saw.
Well, I was going to ask Jessica first. Whenever we was at the Woodwalkers meet and greet, I'm sorry. Didn't you see something in the water that kind of gave you a little second thought on what you seen?
Yes, I didn't talk to the audience about that at all. I never brought that up. We a couple of us saw that when we were driving over the water. Actually, Anna, your husband was with us, and he saw it too. It was like a wave. I believe he saw it too. I saw it. There was something large in the water, and I thought that maybe a boat had gone through under the bridge as we passed over the lake, but there was no boat there. There should have been a boat there for what I was seeing, but there was no boat. So something was like making a huge ripple in the water, like a huge wake. And it was something real big in that lake. For people who don't know the LBL, the lakes out there, they're like an ocean. They're so big. They're huge.
They are big.
Yeah.
Right. I think I was in the car in front of you guys, and I saw it was something dark. I couldn't see exactly what it was, but it was a lot bigger than a lizard man, I'll tell you that. And just a couple weeks before that, I was down there with Martin, and we saw something go in the water there, and it was going underneath the water so quickly. It was throwing up rooster tails, right? But it was 3 times faster than a speedboat. It was just unbelievably fast. Still don't know what that was. There's so many strange things happening in the land between the lakes. It's just it's some kind of magnet for unexplained phenomena, and I think it's because there are a lot of portals there. And I've recently come across some information on portals, interdimensional portals, and I'm not ready to share it quite yet, but when I do, I think everyone's going to be astounded.
Oh man. You know, my thought on that water anomaly was submarine for a minute. I just thought that, and I was thinking, you know, why wouldn't there be some kind of military thing going on there? You know, some kind of submarine underwater program, or I don't know. It's just a possibility in my
It
mind.
is. There's been UFOs sighted going in and out of the lakes out there.
Yep.
So
Mark
Why
Maycheck
not?
actually saw one himself. So,
Yeah.
you know, Mark he didn't spin tales that weren't true. And if he told me that he saw something, I believed him. I don't know if he ever come out and said that publicly, but he told me a lot of things privately that were really, really fantastic, put it that way.
He'd seen a lot. He told us he came on my channel and talked about some Dogman encounters he had out there.
Mhm.
Also, little people encounters not too far from the LBL as well. But one
Right.
of the most, one of the more intriguing accounts that he told me was about the Dogman that had paint on its face, almost like war paint.
Yeah, that was quite unusual to have a sighting with a dogman with war paint on. It's the first and only time I've ever heard that.
hey, Sister Truthy. Sorry.
Do you think that there's and I know I think there is, but is there quite like a Native American connection to the Dogmen out there?
Yes, all the Native Americans have their own dogman legends, you know, the shapeshifter legends. And recently one of these YouTube podcasters, popular, come on and said there was no evidence at all of the Native American First Nations presence in the land between the lakes, which I thought was just ridiculous, because evidently they haven't ever, as many times as they've been there, 4 or 5 times, whatever, they never went to the Golden Pond Museum and Planetarium, where they have a whole room devoted to 10,000 years of Native American presence in the land between the lakes. So that's going to be on my next video too, or my second one. I still have to put the one out that what happened to you, sister. I'm 2 weeks behind on that, but so much has happened, you know.
We've had a kind of a rough week
Yeah,
around here, so
haven't had much time to be on that computer. And
You'll
plus,
get it
I
out when you
make a
can.
living. I don't make a living doing this stuff. You know, it's not
Mhm.
my number one priority in life is not YouTube, right? It's my family and my friends, and making memories. So
Oh, yeah.
pardon me for being a little bit slow on the YouTube videos, but it is coming.
It's coming. I am patiently awaiting. We actually got a couple of good interviews around a campfire and stuff, and you know, recounted things that happened to us out there around the campfire. And
Right.
I think after we filmed one of those interviews, I went to bed, and y'all had more activity that night after I went to bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll let
So,
Sister Anna tell you about that.
yes, Anna, tell us about what happened the second night that I was out there with y'all, and I went to bed.
Yeah, you had gone to sleep because I know you were up really late with what y'all were dealing with the night before. And me and my adult daughter and Bart were staying up, and we started hearing the footsteps just like you all did. Our backs were to the bay, and it will like started coming down that ridge and you could hear the walking. Now, if it had been an animal like one of the armadillos or a possum or something like that, I feel like you would have heard some shuffling because there was a lot of leaves still in that area. But this was walking. And at one point, my daughter, she took a flashlight and she caught eye shine, just a glimpse. And she said it was tall, whatever it was. And it just was back and forth in an arc. Back and forth, just kept walking. And we heard it for quite a while. And it would get close. But we never saw anything other than my daughter getting that glimpse of eye shine that one time.
Yeah, that's what we were experiencing too. As well, except for it was pretty. I would say violent, kind of. It was aggressive. Aggressive is the word. And it was not only when it came down the first hill, the one that was behind my chair, not the Indian burial mound, but the other hill. It came down really fast and really loud. And it sounded like it slid down the bottom of at the bottom when it got down the bottom. And I thought it would stop. Like in my mind, it should have stopped right there, but it kept coming at us. And that's when we pretty much we had to kind of protect ourselves for a little while. And then they started coming down the Indian burial mound eventually. So they were, I mean, it was like we were being flanked from all sides, both sides. And
Right.
and then the rocks started getting thrown, and then the vehicle started getting pushed, and it was fun. It was fun. Looking back, it sucked on camera, but it was kind of fun.
It sounds like fun, sister. But those Indian mounds, the burial mounds, are all over the park. You drive down the trace, you drive by 4 or 5, you wouldn't even know it. And I will say, I'm not going to give away a lot, but I will say that the vast majority of the Indian burial mounds that are visible are right there in the Golden Pond area. If you go to the Golden Pond Museum and Planetarium, you'll walk right by 3 or 4 of them, and you don't know it, because erosion takes its toll on these burial mounds, and many of them are eroded down to only 3 to 5 or 7 feet tall. But we do have other ones in the park that are 50 and 60 and 70 feet tall still. So
But we're not
Indian
gonna
mounds
talk
everywhere.
about where they're at because
No.
people disrespect them.
not going to tell
bad.
anyone where they're at. They can find it for themselves. Everybody's an expert on the LBL now, but they're only about 20 years late to the party. But let them find out for themselves if they can.
Well, Barton, you and Martin Groves know a lot of the history of that place. I was like just fascinated at the history of that area, and and the word on the street is there's 200, maybe 300 cemeteries out there, but Martin says that he has personally documented 400 cemeteries out there.
Right, and that's not counting the First Nations cemeteries that are underwater. You have probably 100 of those underwater, sister. So, in my opinion, and I've always said this, and I've always got this feeling about this place, is the land between the lakes is one gigantic 170,000 plus acres of nothing but cemeteries, one giant cemetery. As a matter of fact, as you come over the ridge there in Katie's into the park, you're riding right over the top of the remnants of a burial mound that they had to desecrate to build that bridge. So I think that the whole park is under a curse, if not the whole state of Kentucky, but especially the land between the lakes.
Well, you said that when you go there, you feel like you're under a spell, right?
Yes.
And that's how it is when a lot of these places that we go to, because my team has experienced that. I've experienced that. And I didn't get that ominous bad feeling when I went to the LBL that I've heard that people get. Probably because I go to places like that a lot. And I didn't get it until it got really dark at night. And it was when all that stuff started happening, then I started getting a weird feeling, a bad feeling about it. And even walking down the road with War Criminal, I didn't like that. When the lights were on, I wasn't a fan of that.
Well, I've never ever been afraid in that place. It's a beautiful place, one of the most beautiful places in Kentucky in the daytime, but at nighttime, it completely changes into an ominous, an ominous environment. And you cannot see through it. It gets so dark there, you just can't see through the darkness. So But I don't feel afraid, and that's why we've been going down there for 3 years trying to kill the beast of LBL to put a stop to all this carnage and killing that it's been doing. But I just take the Lord with me, and I don't have a gun. I take a sword and a spear. I don't think putting holes in these things is going to work. Hopefully the sword or the spear will, but if not, then I'm probably going to be food for whatever if I run into anything. But I have such strong faith that nothing has really came out on me yet. So hopefully it will before I get too old to swing those swords. But so far, nothing. And a lot of people say, well, these things see the edged weapons, and they know what they are. So I've been down there 4 or 5 times now, with nothing at all but a flashlight and a walking stick. Still, nothing will come out. Now, I don't even have so much as a pocket knife. I was testing that theory, and I'm glad that it wasn't true, but I'm glad something didn't come out with me unarmed. But I've been in there several times unarmed, completely unarmed, and still nothing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it really does feel a lot worse when you're unarmed in places like that, because I was too when that happened with Matt and I, and it kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it did feel kind of.
Well, you feel a lot more vulnerable, but I have faith in Jesus, and if Jesus and God had wanted me to die at the hands of an Inhumanoid, that would have happened in 1975. So I don't have any fear of these things. I want one to come out so I can claim my dominion that Jesus Christ gave me over everything that walks on the earth. And when it does, we'll see what happens. I'm going to claim my dominion and command it to be still. And if it's a Bigfoot, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to walk away, because I know those things have powers, mind control, appearing, disappearing will. I'm not quite so sure about the Dogman, what all they can do. I'm hoping they're government engineered flesh suits for these demonic entities that's flying around the earth. So I believe that I could kill one of those. And if it's not too big, if it's an 8 or 10 footer, I'm probably going to be a goner. But if it's one like was described in the 82 family attack down there, then I think I can take care of it. And what I'm going to do is hang its head up in a tree as a warning that humans are off the menu down there. So that's really the only reason I'm down there, sister. And it's to do something good. For years and years, I've heard people talking about this beast of LBL, how it kills people and women and children, and ex-Navy SEALs, ex-Marines, ex-policemen, ex-this, ex-that. No one has ever really tried to put a stop to it. So I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I have huge faith that if I do come into contact with the beast of LBL, I'm going to be the one that puts a stop to that mess.
I wasn't really even familiar with Dogman when I first started doing podcasting, and
Right.
and I had been out in the field. I'd heard about Dogman from Bob Wilson, Grumpy, one of the heads of one of my research teams, the North Georgia Cryptid Field Researchers, and Bob was part of one of those Dogman organizations that turned out to kind of be just he was always irritated because it was just a Facebook group, he said, and so it wasn't like, but he was actually out there doing this boots on the ground field research, and he said that he had a lot more information than anybody else did, because he knew firsthand about Dogman, and everything that I learned about Dogman I learned from Grumpy, and he's passed away now, but I learned a lot from him. But like I said, I had not heard much about Dogman because we had never come across Dogman out in the field, starting back in 2011, up until when I started podcasting about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And then I saw how prevalent it was in the, communities and everything that Bob had said about Dogman. I started learning a little bit more, and I've even had my own experience now. So I know they exist. I know they're out there. For whatever reason, they are prevalent right now. And a lot of people don't know this, Barton, but you actually drew one of the most famous drawings of it's like a forensic sketch almost of the beast of LBL.
I did, sister. And that was 20 years ago for Jan Thompson. I was trying to, I always do this whenever possible, is sit down and sketch what people are seeing. And I offered to sketch what Jan saw, and so I began sketching, and she was very, very meticulous, very picky as to the details. And it took me like 2 weeks. I would sketch it and then send her the image, and she said, this needs to be changed, that needs to be changed. About 2 weeks later, I finally got her to say, that's it, that's perfect. So yes, I try to take a forensic approach to sketching these inhumanoids that people are experiencing, and I've been able to sketch quite a few so far. And that is the most famous one, I guess, because I see it everywhere. It's on every podcast, every book, it's just all over the place. And I'm just lucky to have been the one to make the very first Dogman documentary ever made. And Jan was a part of that. So I'm just fortunate to have done that.
I think it's fascinating because I've seen this picture around, but you don't always get the credit for this. People don't ever give you the credit where credit's due. Right.
Well, that's a standard YouTube operation. Unfortunately, I always cut off my initials and the date I did it. So yeah, that was 20 years ago in 2006. How time flies.
Wow. I mean, it's pretty fantastic, and that is off of eyewitness reports right there. And
Ann Thompson, yes.
So speaking of eyewitness reports, I mean, the LBL is the pinnacle of cryptid field research spots. It's where a lot of us, once we've established Bigfoot's real, we're like, well, let's move on to Dogman next, right? And that's been my case. It was my case. I'm not gonna lie. And not that I ever got bored with Bigfoot, okay, but I'm always looking for something. What else? What are we on the trail on? Like I'm going where the data is. I'm going where what the reports are, and we're getting more Dogman reports now. And so the LBL is one of the pinnacles of where a lot of us wanted to go research.
Right, it is the most famous hotspot for cryptid activity in the world right now. Has been for the last few years. And when I first wrote that book and that sketch come out, interviewed Jan, only one person that I knew was doing anything at all related to Dogman. That was my good friend Linda Godfrey, and she of course had the Beast of Bray Road and everything. And there wasn't very many people that went to the land between the lakes to look for Dogman or any inhumanoid for that matter. And a couple of years later, there was 5 or 10 people coming out and doing that. And after the documentary was released, you had even more people, and each year they just multiplied, and now you have hundreds of people every year going down to the LBL. So it is the most popular hotspot for cryptid activity in the world.
It is. Well, y'all are not only getting evidence of, I mean, I know you're out there and you've experienced Dogman and Bigfoot. There's a lot of Bigfoots in the LBL.
Yes.
Bigfoot's out there. I think that's what me and Matt, I think that's what we all experienced was probably Bigfoot.
Right.
But there's also other stuff.
So about the Bigfoot, I think that what this is Bigfoot, but I could be wrong. But me, Martin Groves, and Daryl Denton and Ron Moorhead were down there researching a couple of years ago, and we've been driving for a couple of hours already, and we hadn't had any luck. Nothing was really happening. And I told Martin, I said, Bubba, we was driving down, I'm not even going to say the name of the place anymore. I've already said it. For those who are familiar with my videos and everything, will know where it's at. But we were driving down that road, and I told Martin, I said, Bubba, pull over in one of these campgrounds. And it was Tuesday night, Monday or Tuesday night. There was no one in the park. I said, pull over one of these campground spots. I've got to use the bathroom, right? So he pulled over, and I took care of my business, and I walked back to the driver's side of the car or the truck, and Martin was driving, and I said, you know what, Bubba, I think I'm just going to do my Aztec death screen. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, well, you remember that video we did with Elijah and Gabby where they had the Aztec death whistle? He goes, yeah, I remember that. I said, well, what you don't know is the last 2 or 3 times that you heard that whistle in the video wasn't the whistle at all. It was me imitating that sound with a lot more amplitude. You know, I can do that sound, and it would echo all of them down the rivers. So he said, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. And so I did it. I did the scream, and almost immediately got a response. And it was a terrifying response. And I knew immediately that it was a Bigfoot because I'd heard that when I was 9 years old in Spotsville, Kentucky. So, but I was still, it's the first time I ever got a response like that, right? And so we're all standing there and just couldn't believe what just happened. And, you know, I'd already been gifted this YouTube channel. Latisha and I never had one aspiration of ever being on YouTube. So we've been together. We've been together for what, 16 years now. Did I ever once say, hey, I want a YouTube channel? No, it was made for us as a gift. And I'd already had the channel for a little while, but I was not really that great a YouTuber. No claim to be, you know. So I should have immediately took my phone out and started recording, but I didn't. We were slack-jawed, amazed at what had just happened. Ron, we call him Indy, Brother Indy, short for Indiana Jones. He had such a exciting life, but he was wide-eyed in the car, and Daryl was wide-eyed, and Bubba he didn't know what was going on. And instead of taking my phone out and being a YouTuber, my reaction was to scream again. I repeated the scream, right? And at that minute, Daryl was in the back seat. He took his phone out and started recording. And so this video that I sent you, that's where it picks up. I've done the second stream, and we're awaiting the second return vocalization. And go ahead and play that right now, sister, if you will.
Is it the one that has the wording on the front?
Yes.
It says something about the LBL. Okay, let's play it. Here we go. It's about 1.5 minutes. So y'all, here we go.
Barton, you got a trigger response. I was downranted.
Any nightmare around there, brother?
That time because it's coming. And I said, "Heavy nightmare out of the car, Daryl." But yeah, the first answer, the first response to my first scream was coming from, I'd say, about a 1/4 mile away or less on our side of the Tennessee River. The second response came from the other side of the Tennessee River, which is 1 mile away. And the third response came from about a 1/4 to a 1/2 mile further away from the second one. So I had 3 different creatures all respond to my scream. And I don't know if I just hit a certain note or a certain pitch, but they were all perfectly mimicking my pitch. And the last time I screamed, nothing answered. The 4th time, and I'm glad it didn't, because you can plainly hear that you're not hearing echoes of me going up and down that river. That is actually something screaming back at me in response to my vocalization. And I sent this recording immediately to my wildlife biologist friend, and he said, "Congratulations, Barton. You just got something that most researchers spend their entire lives and never, ever get. That is an unknown animal, and I guarantee you it's no animal that I've ever heard either in or outside of the Kentucky park system. This is a completely unknown animal." So,
Ooh. Gosh, there's so many weird things in that place. And it does, you know, between the Bigfoots and the Dogmen, I mean, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of weird screams, a lot of recordings lately of things that I just don't know what to think about. Can't explain it. I mean, who did I have on my show the other day? I had somebody on my show, and they were it was Mike Turnencasa, MT Paranormal Life out of Ohio, and he's got an area where it's called Portage County. That's where all those Bigfoot sightings have been. He lives there. He does boots on the ground field research out there, and he's got some insane screams and stuff. You know, and of course, cats make really crazy screams.
Yes.
Cats, but you know, but like yourself, Barton, you go out in the woods. I mean, y'all get out in the woods a lot to know the difference between a cat, a coyote, and other wildlife. I would think, right?
Foxes also scream.
Mhm.
Yes, the panthers scream. Like it sounds like a woman, but this was none of those. This was something that I hadn't heard for 50 years, and something that the wildlife biologists had never heard before. And so those two little bits of evidence that you played, Wolf Sister, the tree peeker and that the vocalizations, this is more evidence than any other researchers ever gotten in the Land Between the Lakes ever. And you have a couple more videos too of the rod. I don't know what it was. I guess it was a rod. People call it flying down from the sky to the ground, and the portal. So that's more evidence than anyone's ever gotten in the history of the LBL. All the researchers in history put together, and we've got it all in 2024.
Did you send her a copy of the black things that look like feathers or something flying down in front of your face?
I didn't want to overwhelm you, sister, with evidence, you know.
That's a good one, though.
That was pretty interesting.
It was.
Tell them about that.
Well, I was filming some B-roll, and I took a shot this way, and I pushed pause, and I took a shot this way for a few seconds, and then pause, and then you know how you do, sister. I was trying to be a videographer there, but when I got back and looked over the footage, everything was perfect on the first shot, but that second angle, some black stuff started falling out of the sky, and it was almost like really heavy black feathers, but they weren't feathers. I could see one hit the ground and just disappear. I don't know what that was. I've never seen or heard anyone else even have an experience like that, but that's on video on my YouTube channel. I think it's Spirits of the LBL. Mm-hmm. I've done so many LBL videos, it's hard to keep track of them. But yeah, that was another unexplained phenomenon that really, maybe it's a first of all time. I don't know, but it's on video. And, you know, I'm not the only one that has these experiences. Sister Anna and Latisha, Brother Matt, they've all had experiences there. I want you guys to tell me about what y'all saw, and so I can take a little break from talking here. I'm not trying to, overtake your show.
I love it.
Go ahead, Anna.
Can I let me interject something real quick? Matt Cooper is in the chat, a friend of mine. He goes and researches with David Pardue from Carolina Cryptid Field Researchers, and he was asking if that audio is posted somewhere. Now, Barton, is it on your TikTok?
The audio is it's on my TikTok page, but it's also on my YouTube channel, on Latisha's YouTube channel, and it's in a. You can tell. Just go to Inhumanoids with Barton M, and you can watch this, and you can see everything that all the evidence I've ever got is on the YouTube. There's a couple of them on my TikTok, but everything that I've ever gotten is on our YouTube channel, Inhumanoids with Barton M.
Okay, I'm going to show your YouTube channel too, just for a second.
Okay, now
so
Brother War got me into that. He said, "Man, you ought to do TikTok." I'm like, "What's TikTok? I don't even know what that is." He said, "Oh, it's easy, man. Just you gotta. There's the rod right there. It's just that shiny thing looks like it's like a centipede. That's another little bit of evidence that we caught down there." And so I got a YouTube, a TikTok page going, and yeah, it's fun. It's quite fun.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know if you can play that music or not.
Okay, here. let me take this off. Hold on, let me stop sharing. I have the actual video that you sent. So let me play the video, because I have some people in this chat who are going to love this video. Excuse me. Midwest watchers and Chiro sounds. I know they're going to love this video. Okay. And we have a lot of UFO enthusiasts in the chat. So let's play this, and then you can tell us what this is.
Remember when Brother Jason got up on the picnic table with my spear? And
That was
when-
Boswell Landing.
Boswell Landing,
Yep.
yeah. And so, oh, boar
That was
coming through the
Boswell.
woods, and Jason gets up on the picnic table, and with my spear, is getting ready to stick this pig, but it never did come out. But
Yeah.
I was filming and reviewing the film, and there it was. We didn't see it as it happened. It's crazy. A lot of the stuff is just beyond rationalization, you know. And that thing right there is bright orange in color, but no one saw it.
And have no clue what it
No
is.
clue what it is. Looks like what they call a rod. You know what rods are? I don't know. People say they're bugs. People say they're video artifacts or whatever. You know, and condensation. But I don't know what it is. But there it is, plain as day. And there is no AI involved in any of my research or my evidence. Nothing fake whatsoever, as Sister Anna can attest, and Brother Matt, and anyone that knows me knows that I'm all about the truth, and that's it. Hello.
Kevin,
I mean,
Yes,
that,
Kevin Murphy,
that
Casey
video is-
Murphy. Now, check this out, sister. This is a man that you need to have on your show. He's a really good friend of mine. I love him like my own brother. And he has actually seen shapeshifters in action. So
ooh,
he'll be a good guest on your show.
Kevin, I'm gonna holler at you. Okay,
Yes. Make a note of that.
I will. Kevin Murphy,
Yes,
please
he's
come on my
really-
show, Kevin.
Really very intelligent man and well-spoken, very, very considerate and kind and courteous, and he would make a great guest. His
Thank
story is amazing.
Thank you for the recommendation, Kevin. Holler at me. Okay.
Welcome.
That video, I mean, I almost want to show that video to the audience again. It is so good. I mean, we've had instances where it was kind of the opposite. Like in my life, we had some orbs that were floating around my son one night, and
Mhm.
his dad was filming them, and my son and I could see the orbs floating around my son, but his dad could not see them except for through his phone, the screen on his phone. So we're seeing them and he's not. And it was just weird, but that actually showed me that not everybody can see what I see,
Right.
you know. And that was pretty profound, actually, learning that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you know, I thought that, you know, I might be the only one. There came a time, but when I got online, of course, I was late to come online. It was 2005 when I came online. When I realized that there's other people like me out there that had multiple encounters and experiences with different types of unexplained phenomena, I was just blown away, and I was really relieved that I wasn't the only one, and I didn't sound so crazy to everyone. Only the ones who can't see or hear this stuff. So
Yeah, you know, I feel like a lot of this that we experience is a frequency
yes,
issue.
everything is frequency. Everything is frequency, sister.
That's what I think.
But there's 3 pieces of evidence right there that are really unmatched, and you still have yet to show the portal.
but she wants to show the one she's just talking about again.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Well, let me show this one more time. I want to see it one more time. I love this video. Thank y'all for sharing this with us.
Well, you're
And
welcome.
let's look at this one more time, because this is pretty.
The sky to the ground, not the ground to the sky. And like I said, we didn't see it. And only when I was reviewing the footage that I noticed that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what in the world is this? So that's how it goes.
That's
With
what I
us,
was
everything
saying.
we've caught, sister, has been on accident, honestly. Whether we're out or sitting in our lawn chairs, it doesn't really seem to make a difference.
Well, I think you got some good evidence. We also have this other video. Do y'all want to show the other video with the, is it a portal?
That's what I'm calling it. I don't really know what it is, sister. I've never seen anything like that before. And
This
it's
is
a
the
long
one that-
video,
This
yeah.
is the one that took our attention and just for a few minutes held our attention, and then we just drove away for no
Right.
reason. We just don't know why we left that scene just to go to a church. So
Yeah, I can't believe we did that. But this is a long video. And just play the first minute or so of it, sister, would be fine.
Okay, it's a 5.5, it's almost a 6-minute video. So we'll play the first minute, a little over a minute of it. Okay. All right, here we go.
Or any movement?
I don't either.
And I can tell. It's not showing up red as in hot.
That's weird.
When I put it on red hot,
Yeah.
it doesn't show up as red.
What?
And that's
That don't make no sense.
what color is it showing up? White.
Mine is too.
But that's on the red hot setting.
Look at mine. Look through mine. It's showing up white through my sonics too.
What the hell?
It's sure in the hell as white as can be. And it looks like there's might be some other lights around it too.
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
Hey, baby. Bart. 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 Come here. It's showing up white. Look through the sonics. Look here. It's showing up white through his too, almost. It's white as it can be through the sonics.
And then it looks like two
Come here, look.
lights on the side.
It's a campfire.
But
Look how far they had to go through this.
that's what I'm saying. They had to
Look
go
how
through.
tall the flames are, almost like a bonfire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there you go. So they were
Wow.
in separate vehicles that night, and they were they were riding with War, and I was riding with Martin and Sheila. There's a couple others. We had 3 carloads of people that night. One of them happened to be the winner of our contest, our YouTube channel contest, and she got a original sketch by me of her choice of any cryptid that she wanted. She picked El Chupacabra.
Yeah, the
And
hardest
she
one
got
you
to
ever
go
did.
on, right? That's so hard. But she got to go on a field investigation with us in the land between the lakes. That was a prize. And that's what happened that night. It's quite unbelievable. But if anyone knows what that was, please let me know. Or any of these things that I've shared with Sister Jessica. It's just, I have no idea. I know they're just those 4 pieces of evidence is more than any other investigators ever gotten before in history. So this was all in 2004, and we have 2024. I'm sorry, we have 2026 to go, and it's looking really, really good so far.
Heck yeah, it is. I wanted to pull this comment up because this is from my good friend Javier, and he is a cryptid field researcher out of Fresno, California. And I was thinking this too. That rod. He said it almost looks like some pictographs we have in our area.
Oh, really?
It looks like pictographs. I know what you're talking about, Javier. 100%. I wonder if that's some kind of ancient alien stuff. I mean,
I don't know. You guys as good as mine.
That
I've
was
never
crazy.
filmed anything like that before.
like, yeah. Thank you,
And
Javier,
then-
for being here.
Just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And it's definitely not pareidolia because it was actually moving, flying through the air from high to low. So definitely not pareidolia or anything like that.
Wow. That's a really cool orb. Whatever that was some sort of an orb or fireballs, back in my ancestry from, decades ago, I'm going to say about a century ago, my great grandmother, one of my great grandmothers, her husband was in the Civil War, so it couldn't have been too far back, but it was pretty far. She was dying on her deathbed, and the family came into the house to come, and this was in North Georgia, by the way. Okay, probably in Rome, where all my grandparents, my great grandmother got had a possible ET abduction and all this stuff. She was in bed dying. The family was there, and they said that a fireball came out of the woods, an orb of light, but they called it a fireball. Came out of the woods and it circled the house and it went inside the house and it went into each room and it went over the bed where she was, and then it went out the door and it went back into the woods, and then she died.
Wow.
I mean, that kind of stuff, you hear stories about that from the old days. Of these balls of light and stuff. And you got to wonder, like, is this something that's spiritual? Is it ball lightning? Is it part of the sphere network? Like, what is this?
Well, I think it's all spiritual, sister, and I think it's all connected. And that was the point of my book, The Inhumanoids, is to put on display the connectivity of seemingly unconnected, strange phenomena by sheer repetition. And then over and over and over, I showed how these things are connected to, say, UFO activity in the area. It's connected to the Bigfoot activity in the area, and that's connected to the ghost, the haunted houses in the area, and that's connected to the area itself, the topography of the area. And I just had a witness interview last night. It was fantastic. It's from LBL. Happened in 2010, of a man who saw a Dogman, and it was 3 people actually chased out of that park by a black Dogman. And just a few weeks earlier, they had seen a huge UFO in the same area. And I'm not going to say the area, but he'll be doing a show. We're going to get our live streams fired back up soon. Just because we haven't been active publicly doesn't mean that we haven't been active behind the scenes. I still get all kinds of people contacting me with their stories. And every story that you hear on our channel is real. It comes from real people, not Chat GPT. Chat GPT, you don't have to take any time out of your life to interview a witness and make sure that they're not pulling your leg or trying to pull a hoax or something like that. So everything you see on our channel is 100% real and vetted as much as possible by myself. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up.
Oh my gosh, Barton, you just said what I think about stuff sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, as many reports as we take, and I had some wonderful people who showed up at our Bigfoot town hall today, and these stories, it's almost like truth is stranger than fiction, first of all.
Right.
But it's when you meet people in person, you do an in-person interview with somebody, even if you just get online and look at their face while they're talking to you.
Yes.
There's something to be said about that. And yeah.
Sure, and that's why there's so few YouTuber content creators like us, sister. I don't create any content. I just pass along what's given to me. I don't create anything other than the thumbnail, right, for the video.
Yeah.
But there's so few of us out there because cheating and acting and fakery is so easy now, and most of them do it, and it's a shame. It really is.
Yes. I feel you on that. And so, but I stick true to who I am and what I am and what I do, and bring people like yourselves on, all 3 of y'all. People that I've actually been out in the field with. Y'all are my favorite kind of guest. Okay, people that I know personally, people that I've spent time out in the woods with, and I trust you, and I know that we've been in some sticky situations together, all of us.
Yeah, well, we're the real deal, and we're not actors. We're not out there pretending to be something that we're not. It's all real. And Sister Anna and Latisha and Brother Matt all had something happen to them one night, and
Gabby
Gabby Henderson. I think they should tell you about that.
I'm gonna let Anna take it away. I'm not in a really good mood to talk right now, so kind of having a bad day. But go ahead.
Okay, baby. Yeah, we just lost our dog yesterday, 16 years, and yeah, still
Fresh.
Still fresh for us. But go ahead, Sister Anna. Tell them about the night of that you guys saw that thing.
Okay. This was to date probably the craziest, most intense experience that I've had in the LBL so far. And it was May of 2023. It was the first weekend of May, and there was a full moon. I believe it was called the flower moon.
Mm-hmm.
At one time I was thinking it was strawberry, but I looked it up and it was the flower moon for that first weekend in May that year. And it was probably around 11, and we decided it's time to get out there. So me and Latisha and another girl got in a car, and War and Gabby and Elijah Henderson got in War's truck, and we left. I think Bart and Martin and a couple other people were still at the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And-
I stayed behind with Martin and Sheila. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be a bad host, sister. And I thought abandoning my guest would be rude. So
exactly.
and
Exactly.
as soon as the one time that I stay back, it's all kinds of.
I know. And so we are headed down the trace, and we're more on the north end, closer to Grand Rivers at that time, I believe. And we went all the way down to Boswell Landing. While we are traveling the trace that night, we go around a curve and we see the moon, and it is absolutely stunning. It is electric orange, almost red. And the clouds around it were illuminated with that orange color. And we all gasped when we saw it because it was just so beautiful. I did get a couple of pictures of it, but of course it's on the cell phone and it just doesn't do it justice.
Right.
Then all these animals are coming towards the trace. We were seeing herds of deer. I have never seen this many deer before in my life. I live out in the country. We just hit a deer back in November and had to have a car fixed. But I have never seen this many deer just coming out to the road. We swerved multiple times to miss them. We had owl come down and swoop in front of the windshield. We had a beaver come out on the road. We had to swerve and miss it. And War stopped so Elijah could get out and take pictures of this beaver that was in the middle of the trace. We had bats that flying across, and we knew what those were. As soon as we saw the owl, the bats, everything, we knew what those were. But as we're headed to Boswell, we did see something beside a guardrail on the side of the road. Now, there's no emergency lanes on the trace, as you probably noticed, going up and down it quite a few times. And we get on down to Boswell. We do our looking around at Boswell that we wanted to do. And then I think War and Gabby and Elijah went on in to, I can't remember, maybe Dover, so that so they could get something, get some gas and some drinks. And we headed on up. As we are heading up, we had our windows down just a little bit, and we heard a whoop. And that was my very first time that I was audibly able for myself to hear a whoop. And we were driving down the trace, and it was that loud. So it must have been close to the road when we heard that. So we drive a little bit further, still swerving, missing deer that's running out in front of us because they're in herds on both sides of the road.
Weird.
Just amazed at how many animals. It felt like they were being flushed out of the woods, honestly. And we turn this little curve, and there's a guardrail. And there is this, I don't even know what to call it, but it was about 20 inches, 25 inches tall.
Yeah.
And it had laser red eyes. And those eyes, like, just were magnetic, drawing us straight. And it was looking right at us, like it meant to look at us.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of raised up a little bit. It unfolded wings that looked exactly like bat wings. There were no feathers on these wings. And without flapping those wings, it twisted up and out of sight. We don't know what that was. It twisted. It did not flap its wings.
Didn't flap. It didn't push off of legs. Nothing that we seen. It just, the way I described it was like it was sucked up off the ground into a vacuum cleaner. Is the way it looked. It just twisted and was up and gone. But the wings just unfurled, and it was like she was telling you when we went down, that thing was sitting on the side of the road, and when we came back, it was that same exact thing was sitting on the road looking at us, and it was like I told them, I said, it was like it waited for us to come back. It intentionally waited there. Now, do I know that for sure? No, but we seen it going down, didn't give it much thought, but coming back, those eyes were just, there was no way you could not look at it. We all three immediately seen it and seen exactly the same thing. So there was we called it the mini Mothman.
Yeah.
That's what we ended up deciding it was.
And in commemoration, this is what I got today from our local pottery.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
Man. That is so cute.
So, and then another strange thing about that whole thing was War was behind us coming back. He was probably 30 minutes behind us or so on the way back, and they were seeing snakes everywhere on the road. We never seen the snakes on the road.
Okay.
I think that was coming back. You correct me if I'm wrong, or was that going down, Anna, where they were seeing snakes and we weren't?
It might have been both. I know it was going down. They were seeing the snakes. It may have been coming back as well, but we didn't see them.
We didn't see any of the snakes, but they seen snakes everywhere, all over the road. And
that is weird.
Going down, we was like just right. I could see their headlights were right behind us. So it's like, how did we miss all those snakes? And they seen them all. And then with the moon was huge. I mean, it's the most beautiful moon I've ever seen. And like she said, we all gasped when we seen it. We came around that curve and it was just so beautiful. But back at camp, Martin, I think, was the one that made a comment. Look at the moon. It's, it's a pretty white,
It was just an ordinary moon, small, almost full and white. It was nothing spectacular at all. But I think it's like that y'all like drove into another dimension or something. We went there because there's definitely two different moons, and we didn't see any big orange blood moons or anything like that. It was completely normal.
So then we get back to camp, and I jump out of the car because I'm all excited. I have the story to tell, and Anna, and I'm just yap, and here comes Matt and Gabby and Elijah pulling up, and Gabby jumps out of the car and she tells her story. And I don't know who wants to tell her story.
She said, we saw the beast of LBL. That's what she said. I remember that plain as day, yeah.
And this was all within like 30 minutes of each other. We all see this. But her and Matt, for some reason, Elijah didn't see it. I think he was looking at his phone or something. He was distracted with something.
Yeah.
But Matt and
I think he might have been eating some mac and cheese or something.
I don't remember. But he was doing something. But Matt and Gabby seen it, and you can tell them the story.
Yeah.
What you remember, or you can, Anna. So how they described what they saw.
I'll let Bart do that. He's better at that.
There you
Well,
go.
what they saw was a Dogman spider crawling across the road. Right.
And it was floating.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't he say it was like walking, floating on all fours?
It's called spider crawling. It's where they put their arms and legs out and just like move with their fingers and somehow can ambulate with their fingers and toes. It doesn't look like they're moving their arms or legs at all. And Brother War's in the chat. He can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's what I remember them telling me. Spider crawling across the road, and him and Gabby were beside themselves that they had actually seen the beast of LBL. And I remember poor Elijah he just felt so lonesome that
and you felt so bad that we all went back out.
Well, we immediately went back out, of course, and went to the same exact places, and nothing at all out of the ordinary happened whatsoever.
So don't take Bart out with you if you want anything to happen.
No. A lot does happen when I'm asleep or at camp, but a lot happens when I'm there too. So I mean, all the evidence that we shared with Wolf's sister, there's I don't think anyone else can match it. And I don't think anyone else or everyone else combined in the history of the LBL have ever got so much.
And don't forget about that night that we walked to the Iron Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And something was up in the trees and you caught the eye shine.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That was scary because I was unarmed. And we had 10 people. This is on my channel too. I don't have a TikTok video of this, but you have to go to the channel to watch this. But me and Matt were ahead of the group, and we're walking up to this old iron bridge. And behind us was about 10 people. Would you say 10 people coming? And
Truth Walker was with
Truth
us
Walker
that
was
night.
with us, and Sister Anna. You know, they can't really run. So running away is not really an option on these
I'm
places.
just base.
Right. And War and I, we don't ever plan to run away from anything, but we walked up this bridge and we saw eye shine. And it had to be 8 or 9 feet off the ground at least. It was 2 green eyes. And as soon as we saw it, it went down to the ground like it went on all fours, kind of looked around a couple of times and just slithered off into the darkness without making a sound. And I'm filming and I turn around and look behind at the group. And later on, I see that there's eye shine about 10 feet off the ground behind Matt and I. But I told everybody, I said, all right, turn around, retreat. We're going back to the vehicle. There's some big animal out here. And I didn't have anything. I didn't even have a pocket knife. So got everybody back to the vehicles and got my sword and my spear and went back. And of course, it was gone by then. But yeah, that's just another little story there that happened to us in 2024.
And on the way down there, while we were walking, Latisha will probably remember this, we were hearing whistling, and we kept trying to get your all's attention because we were like, we're hearing whistling over here.
Yep, and they was fussing at us to hurry up and come on, catch up with the group, not step lag behind, but we was hearing things going on beside us while y'all were filming what's going on in front of you, and that was a crazy night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say for the record, sisters, Wolf sisters, that I have never, ever, a single time disparaged anyone that's come to the LBL looking for evidence of the unknown or unexplained. That I've always encouraged everyone to go down there and find out for yourself. See for yourself that the words that we speak and the words that I've written are true. And don't listen to anyone who says that I'm trying to be a gatekeeper of the knowledge of the LBL. That's BS. So I'm just out here trying to be transparent as possible. And I want everybody to come and have their own experiences, just like you did, Sister Jessica. Have your own experience with LBL. That vindicates and validates every single thing that I've ever written or said about that place.
I mean, you guys were more than gracious to take me around, and especially y'all and War Criminal as well. Y'all took me everywhere. And honestly, I honestly just wanted to stay in that one spot because we were having so much activity. I didn't want to go see all those places. Not this trip, maybe next trip.
Right.
But
you're
not gatekeepers.
Mm-hmm. Tiny fraction of the LBL. I mean, I've been going there for 20 years, and I feel like I've only seen a tiny fraction of it. So
it's huge. I mean, how many acres is that property out there?
It's over 170,000 acres.
Mm-hmm. How much of that is the lake? That lake is huge, right? Two lakes.
2 lakes, right?
Man, makes up a big chunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll ever see the whole.
It's the most active cryptid research area in the entire world, beyond a doubt. And that's why everyone wants to go down there. And all the groups, all the monster hunter groups, they all go there. And I can't think of anyone that really doesn't want to go spend time in the LBL that's into all this stuff. So I invite everyone to go down there and see for themselves what's there. You'll really be amazed and astounded, like we all were.
Mm-hmm.
We've been going down there since 2009 together, and the first couple of times we went down there together, we camped out and didn't have nothing, cooking bacon, cooking steaks, had our little 99-cent flashlight. I don't even think we had a phone back then.
We camped out on the actual kill site or the attack site of the 82 attack. We were right there by ourselves. I don't. Did we have a phone? I think we had a phone.
I don't think
The
so,
phones. The thing about it is the phones are useless in the LBL.
but I don't think
There's
we
no
even
signal.
had. I don't remember having a phone. We
I took
may
a
have had a
picture. Remember
phone.
that?
No, because we had that little 35mm camera.
Oh yeah.
No, it was a digital
the
camera. It's
digital
one of
camera.
the digital cameras
digital.
had kind of first got popular, and we had my little digital camera, and we was walking the trails at like 2:00 in the morning, and I was just holding my camera, just snapping pictures. I know we didn't have no light, and I don't remember even having a flashlight. I think we had to have had a flashlight,
had a
or maybe the
flashlight.
moonlight. I don't know.
And a walking stick.
And a walking stick.
And I think it had lightning. My Bowie knife.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it had lightning.
But
that's it.
I remember catching one picture that looked like, what did you say it looked like? Like, you said it looked like a.
It looked like a spirit of the LBL. to
But
me.
did you say it
it
looked
looked
like
like Bigfoot? A bearded face.
A bearded face, like Santa
Yeah.
Claus, kind of. It had the round head, the white beard,
And it was up in the sky.
and it was
I
up
think.
in the sky.
Yeah.
So it was like, what was that? And we still have that picture. We just have to locate it.
That's a couple of computers ago.
Yes, like 2 computers ago. So we'll find it someday.
No, we've had a lot of things happen for sure. It's everyone should go themselves and see for themselves whether we're telling the truth or not.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm the kind of person that wants to go see for myself, and I did, and
Yes.
I'm not gonna say I got more than I bargained for, because I was expecting something crazy probably to happen out there, and I got it. So just if anyone does go, please be prepared, okay? And you got to be prepared mentally, spiritually, energetically, all that.
Right.
Always
Say
be
a little
prepared.
prayer before you enter, and say a prayer after you leave.
Yes. Maybe even cross over some water or something.
Oh, you'll
Yes.
definitely be crossing some water, no matter what.
You will. I want to thank
Yeah.
Nathan Davis real quick. Thank you, Nathan, for that super sticker. It says courage to overcome. Thank you, Nathan. That is very sweet of you for your support. And I actually, okay, so I've just recently been in communication with someone, the most famous incident out there that happened at the LBO was the family that you just mentioned, where that was massacred. And there's a gentleman that's actually claimed to have been there when that happened. And I had a pretty good conversation with him the other day, and I'm actually going to bring him on my show. His name's Roger.
Yeah.
And
Roger Nichols, and it's controversial. His story is controversial, and like me, a lot of these internet or YouTube bullies attached onto him. But I can say this about Roger: of all the YouTubers that I've met in the past 4 years that claim to be good people and of the word, Roger Nichols is the only one that's I can really stand up and tell you that he is a man of his word. He has held his word, kept his word every time he's given me his word. I used to be the peacekeeper of the YouTube content creator community. I'm not that anymore. But he's kept his word. He's a man of his word, and I'll say that every time. And I don't care who it makes mad. I know it's making a lot of people mad right now to hear me say his word, but so be it.
It'll be a good interview.
Definitely will.
well, I have publicly talked about the LBL case, and it was given to me as a remote viewing target. And he was telling me the other day, he's like, "Wow, I said there were some women that are remote viewed it, and I didn't show up in the remote view." And I said, "Well, look, first of all, everybody has always questioned that was even a real event. Okay, a lot of people are pushing that, so we got that. Okay, but then of course to think that maybe there was someone that survived that's actually kind of hard to wrap your head around as well,
Right.
And so I had a great conversation with him about that, and I said, look, I've always said, and you can go back and watch all that that show that I did. Just because it wasn't in my data doesn't mean that he wasn't there. Okay, doesn't mean he wasn't there. So I'll talk about that, because a lot of people have apparently taken what that data was and used it against his story and stuff, and so I kind of feel bad about that, but I also want to bring him on to hear his story. You know what I mean? And let the audience decide. I'm not ever here to make people believe one way or the other. We all have our opinions, we all have our experiences, but it'd be great to talk with him, and he's a really nice guy, actually.
He is. Genuinely,
Like
he's a
him.
nice guy.
Yeah, I think he's pretty cool, dude. Okay.
Hello, Bubba. Good to see you in the audience tonight.
Who's that?
It's got Martin Groves in there.
Hey,
What do
Martin.
I call it, Bubba?
Hey, Bubba. Well, I didn't know.
Hey, Martin. Thank you for being here, Martin. Yeah, Martin was with us at the LBL. His truck got pushed.
Yeah, with him inside it. Yeah.
With him in it.
Was he in
Tell
it?
you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He
I didn't know
was
he was
sleeping
in
in his truck.
I was snoozing. I don't know.
So I had problems falling asleep, but that night when we got the air mattress aired up, I bet it didn't take me 5 minutes to fall asleep. I was so tired. I've been up almost 24 hours. We heard something brush against our tent. But you had your little lights rigged up on your little pavilion there, or whatever you call it. And you could see the light, the campfire, and I didn't see any shadows on the tent wall. So I thought, well,
We was like, oh, well,
yeah.
they're out there. They'll
Whatever.
protect us.
let's go to sleep, right?
We're going to sleep. We
We
knew y'all
protected
had us.
you.
Yes, you did.
We did. We were the decoy while y'all could sleep, and me and Matt got pummeled.
Right, and while we were sleeping like babies.
Well, then I slept the next night, and you guys had the activity. So it was a
Yes.
trade, equal trade. Well, Matt was there both nights, but it was the equal trade in my book. Okay, you're welcome, Matt. But
Fantastic weekend.
it was so great, and I can't wait to come back, y'all. It was absolutely fantastic, and I thank y'all for being so gracious and welcoming to me when I was out there. Anna, you were amazing. I really enjoyed meeting you and your family, and
Thank you. You too.
it was fun. And Latisha and Barton, thank y'all so much for even I'm in the Brotherhood of the Wolf now, y'all.
All right. Well, you fit right in with the sister, and we can't wait to see you again.
Well, thank you. Well, we've got plans. I'll be back. Okay.
Right?
For sure. And
Okay.
I there's Matt. Matt's still in here too. Workhorn's still in here. It was a pleasure to be there with everybody.
It was, yes.
It was. Yeah. Well,
So like, I take it like this: God has taken out the bad people from our life and our company and putting in the good people, and that's a blessing. Of course, we got to go through a lot of crap, but it's well worth it. I retired from this stuff 4 years ago. I just walked away. The liars and the grifters was just too much, and I got just fed up with all of it, and I retired. It was the most peaceful 6 months of my life. I didn't have to look at any of this cryptid stuff. I just went about and lived my life, but got pulled back into it by Johnny Henderson and someone whose name I won't mention. And it was worth it. I met some really good people like you sister, Martin and War, and it's worth it. Daryl, it's all and Mon Moorhead, and we've had some of the most interesting nights of our lives. So going through all the crap was definitely worth meeting the good people.
Mhm.
Well, I know there's a lot more crap to go through, but I think it's gonna. Maybe it'll settle down soon, and people can act like adults.
We just want it to be over. We're done with the drama.
Yeah.
We are so over the drama. And that's all I want to say about that.
well, I will tell you from experience. And I know there's probably people waiting to see what the heck I'm about to say, right? Because I've been drawn into it as well. And Barton, you are fully aware of that.
Oh yes.
And we've all been pitted against each other at some point.
Mhm.
And that is all on YouTube, y'all. That's made for YouTube, and I have nothing to do with that. Okay, and so I that's why I have my own little community over here, the Cryptid Huntress channel, because we just it bounced right off of me. Okay, it really did. And because I'm here for, not just for entertainment. I say things are for entertainment purposes only. But we're just, I've got other things to do, and I don't have time for that.
Right.
Right.
And when you meet people in person, this is the real deal. See, we're actually like boots on the ground. We meet up in person. We do research. We just come back and talk about it because we love to do that. We're not stirring up problems or, not trying to, I'm not trying to ruffle feathers and stuff. And so when we're out in public and we're hanging out together, everybody is so nice.
Right.
Even if I had beef, I don't ever have beef with anybody, but a lot of people have beef with me.
Right. Well, you can't Neutrality is impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't let you be
So
neutral. You
weird.
have to choose a side, and if you don't choose a side, then they're against you anyway. So
It's
you
not
know,
like that in person though. There's the YouTube and then there's the real life.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm a real lifer.
Me
Okay.
too. And
So,
we'll just
yeah.
leave the ones that live in fantasy land. We'll leave them there and move
Well,
on.
well, when you meet me in person, I'm the same person in person that I am right here on the screen.
We are too.
Yes, we are too.
And
Yeah.
so is Sister Anna.
Exactly. So, anyways, what you see is what you get, y'all.
That's
And
right.
and so yes, I'm as goofy in person as I'm as goofy here. Anyway,
Yes, I can attest to that.
not gonna test. I'm worse in person probably. Okay, but anyways, y'all, this is a fantastic show. I'll keep everybody here all night because it's our shows can tend to go long on Saturday night. So, I just want to thank all y'all for being here. Before we go, first of all, I usually ask my friends how they pronounce Vienna sausage, but I already know. I already asked y'all.
Yeah.
Vieners.
Viners.
Vieners.
Anna, how do you say it?
Finer.
Viener sauce. As a matter of fact,
Viener
you
sausage.
showed that pictures of Vieners at the very beginning. I started getting a little bit hungry.
Well, I had not eaten all day, so I was okay with Vieners. Let's see. Here we go.
There
they are.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, but you have
Yes.
armor now. Is it armor or Libby's?
It's all they had. They
go.
had armor. I had barbecue. I had regular. I had mustard, hot sauce, and saltines. And people ate them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, you had to improvise when the food truck doesn't show up.
So did you question who likes armor versus Libby? Vine?
No, I didn't. I just didn't even ask. But I did. But we did have everybody pronounce them before they ate them. So,
I bet that was hilarious.
I
Did
like
you get that on
that.
tape?
no, I had
I like the regular
she
ones.
was on tape.
I can't do the barbecue ones at all, but I can really eat the regular ones no problem. And matter of fact, I think one of the first times that me and Bubba and Daryl met up at the LBL, it had been raining and we had to drive through a tornado to get there to this place that we were going to, and there was a semi turned over on the side of the road, and Daryl's windshield wipers got sucked right off his vehicle. And so we get up to Coast and Hall, and we're at the top of it, and we're sitting there, and Katie's, there was nothing open at all, no power at all, couldn't get anything to eat. So we drove up there, and Bubba got out some Vieners and some beanie weenies, and we were standing behind the vehicle eating when all of a sudden this 100 to 150 foot pine tree, the ground was soaking wet and the root ball gave way, and this huge pine tree comes crashing down about 50 feet away from us. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that before, but it was a sight to see, really.
Yep. Eating your
Eating the
Viners.
Vieners, yeah.
Man, we had a big tree crash in our base camp out in Alabama one night, and I was not eating Vieners, but I'll tell you one thing: my friend Keith went to my cooler to make sure my it wasn't Vieners, my chicken sausages were fully cooked, so it didn't have a sausage connection because I thought I had food poisoning from all the infrasound that I kept getting hit with infrasound. I got hit twice
Yeah.
right when that tree was falling. So, anyways, there might be a connection to Vieners and infrasound and portals and dogmen. I don't know. We always make connections over here.
Right?
I'm kidding.
Look,
But,
Viner.
Vieners.
Vieners.
Yeah, we
Oh
don't
my
want to
gosh.
go into the park without a bunch of Vieners and beanie weenies and stuff like that.
Oh man, Kevin, you must enjoy the Vieners talk conversation. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, please get in touch with me right after the show tonight. And thank you for that super sticker. That's so kind of you. I appreciate that. And we'll get Kevin on the show here pretty
Kevin's
soon.
awesome.
He's an awesome person. He really
Yeah.
is.
Really is.
That's wonderful. Thank you again, Kevin. Well, y'all, this has been a fantastic show. I would love for all of y'all to tell the audience where they can find you. We'll start with Anna. Anna, tell everybody where they can find your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have my paranormal YouTube channel is Kryptic Kentucky. I've got a lot of my LBL investigations on there. as well as an area called Salt River in Anderson County. Now, we have caught some crazy evidence down there too. And if anybody's interested in gardening, I have my Jonestead Farm YouTube channel.
Oh,
Both great channels,
one
really.
too.
And Sister Anna, we'll be coming with you down there to Anderson County sometime real soon.
I've been there.
Well, I haven't. So I've got to get down there. Also, I got to get to Red River Gorge. There's so many places that we need to go to and experience and just see what happens.
I can't see it.
Okay. Okay, I was trying to pull up the y'all's YouTube too. Okay, okay, Kryptic, Kentucky, and what is the other one, Anna? It's Jonestead?
It's Jonestead Farm if anybody's interested in gardening.
I love that. I love that.
We all need to be.
Hold up.
We better start growing our own food.
I've got a big old pumpkin in my little picture on the Jonestead Farm one.
Okay, wonderful. Y'all go over to Jonestead Farm, okay, on YouTube, and please go follow them. And also, Barton and Tish, tell everybody about your YouTube channel as well, and I'll pull it up.
Go ahead, baby.
Nope. You go ahead.
Well, it's raw and it's real and it's unscripted and 100% truth. So, yeah, we've only had it a couple 3 years now, and we never had any dreams that we'd end up on YouTube, and there we are. And Inhumanoids with Barton Only, all the evidence that I've shared with Sister Jessica's on there, as well as other things that I haven't even talked about. So, guys, go and check it out. If you like it, please subscribe. Maybe like a video or two.
Oh yeah, it's the real deal, y'all. Go over there and subscribe to Inhumanoids with Barton Nunnelly, and y'all actually do live shows and stuff too. And Anna, I just saw you on a podcast last night. Shout out to Magical Journey podcast too. So that was really awesome. And I'm so glad that we are all friends and hanging out tonight. So
We are
thank
too.
y'all. Yeah, me too.
It's more like a family, sister, than it is friends. Yeah, that's the Brotherhood of the Wolf. We're family.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I want to thank everybody that's in the chat tonight too. We have some wonderful friends in the chat and wonderful viewers, and to all my moderators and channel members and everybody that's donated tonight towards the channel and stuff. Thank y'all so much. And some of my teammates have been in the chat too. Some of my field research friends as well. So this is wonderful. Do y'all have any final words of advice tonight, or anything, especially if somebody wants to go out to the LBL? What would y'all tell them?
Go ahead, Sister Anna.
Well, you need to prepare yourself for the ticks.
Oh my goodness gracious, we haven't even talked about those little suckers.
Yeah.
The LBL themselves.
Oh my goodness. One day with about 700 seed ticks on. It took me hours and hours to get those things off. I had to take it to the hospital, and it was a nightmare. So, yeah, be prepared for those. And, right?
Yeah, if you're going to be driving in the LBL and you want to get back those roads, be aware that on some of those, you need a four-wheel drive. You're not going to get back some of those roads unless you have a 4x4. So be aware of that and just prepare. You need to prepare yourself because the cell phone coverage is spotty out there. Depending on what time of year you go out there, just make sure you have your flashlights, water, and be prepared spiritually because
yeah. And also watch who you're out there with. I was out there one time with Martin, and we were going down this road in his four-wheel drive. We call it the Beast, and he was ramping creeks and everything. I'm like, holy crap, Bubba! And I was like, slow down or something. You're scaring me.
I just want to say a friend of mine was down there with us not long ago. I won't mention her name. She probably don't want that to happen. So she was with us though, and she, I think, got spiritually attacked while we was there, and it was really scary to see her go through what she went through that night. And I just want everybody, like Anna said, be prepared. Prepare yourself for when you go down there. You don't want to go down there and just let something in You know,
because there's things there that'll come right in. if
they
you're
will. They'll
not
come right
careful.
in. I've
Yeah.
been attacked at Empire Farms. I was attacked.
Yeah.
Make that quick story. I was attacked. We separated as a group, which never ever happens. It's another one of those things that you just don't do. You don't separate, but for some reason we got separated that night, and I got zapped and sick, and
Yep.
it was, you know, be prepared. Be prepared.
Yeah, stay prayed up
Yes.
and take plenty of permethrin.
Yeah.
Spray it all over. It's really saturate where your pants meet your boots. Don't wear shorts like Brother War. Spray it where your pants meet your boots and when your shirt meets your pants, and you should be all right. Except for the ones that fall from the trees on you, and then you just got to take your chances. And the chiggers are, oh my goodness, even worse than the ticks. So you can pull a tick off with a chigger, that's going to itch you for 2 weeks. And me and Brother War got covered in them one time down there, and it's misery. So be prepared and stay prayed up, and have plenty of bug protection for sure.
And we were lucky enough to have Barton spraying us with the bug spray all weekend when I was there. So thank you, Barton. You saved me.
I did a pretty good job, didn't I, sister?
Yeah, great job. I did not have any tick bites or anything when I left. So that was a
I
first.
did.
But this had one.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they got through.
Yeah,
Oh
somehow.
man,
Anna had to kill it for me. It was in my shoulder, so
Well, it probably dropped from the tree and dropped from above.
Mhm.
You can't get any of that permethrin on your skin at all, so keep that in mind.
Barton, we need to promote your books too. You are an accomplished author, and I'd love for you to kind of tell the audience about your books before we go. I almost forgot, but you have some. I have your book Inhumanoids, by the way.
Right. Well, the Inhumanoids, I think that's my most popular book, and they call it the Cryptid Bible, even though there isn't a single story about cryptids in that book. It's like over 400 pages long. And it's about
444 pages.
444 pages.
Mhm.
It's about inhumanoids. You know, I don't think cryptids are by definition natural animals rumored to exist, but not yet classified by science. I don't think Bigfoot, Dogman, Frogman, Lizardman, Mothman, none of these things classify as cryptids. They are inhumanoids. So, yeah, that's my most popular book, I think, and it's the book by which most other cryptid books are compared, ironically.
Fantastic.
It's controversial. Yeah, I couldn't get a publisher for it. I shopped around for like 2 years. I shopped the manuscript around, and every publisher I sent it to was like, "Oh, we love this book. We want to publish it, but you have to take out the last 5 pages." That's where my conclusions were at. I'm like, "Well, no, I'm not going to take out anything or even change one word, either you want it or not." And so, no one would publish it until my buddy said, "Hey, let me send it to my friend over in the UK, Jonathan Downs, and see what he says." So I sent him the Word doc, and he writes me back about a week later, says, "Oh, Barton, I just got to publish this book. It's top 5 of all time." I'm like, "Okay, but is there any buts?" He said, "No buts, no buts. Don't have to change a thing." So that's how that almost didn't get published. I actually written another book in between the time that I had written the Inhumanoids and was shopping it around. I wrote Bigfoot in Kentucky. So Inhumanoids is really my second book. Bigfoot Kentucky, the third, which a lot of people really like the Mysterious Kentuckies 1 and 2, and this writing is just something that I really love to do, and I haven't had much time to do it lately. So I got to get back onto that too, and I have one yet to finish, and people have been waiting for years for me to finish this book. So yeah, you guys go check them out if you like this kind of stuff, and I'd recommend checking out Inhumanoids first, or Mysterious Kentucky, which has a lot of my own personal encounters in there, experiences. So thank you, sister, for promoting those.
Of course,
Nobody reads books anymore.
I do. We all do. Some of us do.
I love books. It's nothing. You can't replace turning the page, or the smell of an old book, right?
Mhm.
Most people, it's on their phone or PC, they won't pay attention to it. So, but I'm old,
And Barton's not using Chat GPT to write his books either.
No,
No, he's not.
I don't have Chat GPT. I've never used it one time. Matter of fact, it was shown
Me
to me
neither.
3 years ago. Shown to me 3 years ago how easy it was to use Chat GPT to come up with a story. And I'm not going to say who showed it to me, but it was in McMinnville, Tennessee at one of those wild man conferences. And he just pulled it out and hit a button and said, please write me a 2,000-word story about a couple hiking along the Appalachian Trail that were attacked by Dogman. And please include a cover-up. He hit that button, and it wasn't 15 seconds later, blink, there it was. And I started reading, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
Mhm.
So yeah, careful who you listen to, careful who you pay attention to, because a lot of these YouTubers out there are not what they seem. When that camera's off, they're completely different people. You know, they're playing roles and playing at actors and being actors and stuff like that. But you know, some of us, like you and me, sister, and there's a couple other ones out there, we're still the real deal, and I'll always be the real deal. There won't ever be anything faked or hoaxed on our channel. Period. Ever.
Oh man, I found out the hard way, Barton, that not everybody's authentic and stuff. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
me too. Me too.
Yeah.
sis.
But it is what it is. Listen, in the end, it is entertainment here on YouTube and stuff. And so pick your poison, as they say, right?
Right.
It's just everybody has a preference, and there's a place for everybody here. Okay.
Yeah, if you
And
want to go
and
to,
so
you want fiction, go to these other
Go
people's
pick.
YouTube channels,
That's
right?
right.
If you want real reality, come to ours. That's the way I look at it.
that's
Clear
right.
room for both. Everybody doesn't need to be at each other's throats and slandering each other, telling the most
Yeah.
egregious lies ever. So, yeah, if you want As the World Turns, go to there. But if you want reality, come to ours.
Come on down. Come on down. Y'all
Yeah.
come hang out with us. That's right. Well, will y'all please come back and hang out with me again? All of
We
you.
would. We would love
Yes.
to.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we'll do this again sometime. Okay. And
Have a great
and I
time.
just
We
absolutely.
didn't say about the time we walked through the portal or nothing like that. So, yeah, we got some stuff that we can still talk about.
Heck yeah. We've got more stuff. We'll save it for the next go round. Okay. Awesome. Well, everybody, have a wonderful night. Thanks again for being here. Y'all, please go and subscribe to their YouTube channels, everybody. Before we go, I want to say thank you to everybody who gave a super sticker tonight. And let me get on the list. Moon at Noon, Gary Spikes, thank you so much. Gary Fisher, thank you so much. War Criminal, thank you. He's also my new moderator. Thank you, Matt. Werewolf,
Love
thank you for becoming a member of the Hunt Club tonight. And Nathan Davis, thank you so much. Kevin Murphy, thank you so much. And Gary Spikes just gifted 5 Cryptid Huntress memberships. That's to my membership here on YouTube. Gary, thank you so much. That is so sweet of you. And also Steve Wolf, thank you. I just got your message. Thank you so much for that donation as well. And so thank you all so much. If you want to join the Hunt Club, hit the join button on my YouTube channel. And I do put exclusive content out there. I'll put out a new video this week. So, all right, y'all. Well, please stay safe out there. Thank y'all so much for sharing your encounters with us. Anna, thank you so much. Tish,
Well,
thank you so much. Martin, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, sister.
And I'd like to say thank you for all the prayers that have been coming our way.
For our dog, yeah.
For our dog.
And our dog, yeah. Thank you, guys. We really
Thank you
appreciate
for the
it.
prayers.
Heartfelt thanks to you.
Right.
I am so sorry about that you've lost your fur baby. I just lost mine a couple months ago as well, and it's like losing a family member for
It
sure.
is,
And
yeah, sure.
so we're continuing to pray for y'all.
We
And
appreciate it
We do.
so much.
I know. Oh yeah, I know your doggy had a wonderful life. I know she did.
Yes, she
She
did.
did.
Yeah.
She did.
16 years with us. She was
That's
18 when she died, but she was with us for 16 years. So she's gonna be
18.
missed. She was 18 years old.
Yeah.
So yep,
Wow,
she was our baby.
That's almost unheard of.
I know.
That's a long age. Yeah,
That's what-
That's
long
what,
life.
what the vet said.
That's what the
No
vet
way,
said.
no way she would have lived that long if she wasn't loved so much.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank y'all so much for being here tonight, y'all. And I will see y'all back here on Monday. To everybody who's watching today, I'll be back on Monday with a live show, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central. Y'all come see me. Okay. And everybody stay safe out there. Don't live in fear. We're out here chasing monsters, so y'all don't have to. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we'll come back and report on it. All right. We might not be filming in the field, but we will come back and talk about it
That's
later.
right.
That's right. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all back here on Monday. All right. Oh, and thank you to everybody who came out to the West Georgia Bigfoot Town Hall today. I saw some of y'all in the chat. I love you guys. All right. Bye, y'all.
Good night.